Hi, my name is Kay Spivey, and I thought since I have graduated from the mother of an infant to the mother of a toddler, I'd like to share some of my baby hacks that worked for me. There are so many hacks out there, but since I shared my baby story and everything, I thought I'll share some of the hacks that really worked for me that maybe won't work for you, but super worked for me, so I'm passing them along. I'm gonna start with the big one, the revolutionary one. I'm just gonna give it to you right up front. You know how, even in the NICU, for infant nails, just bite them off? I just say, even when the NICU nurses were telling me, oh, just bite off the baby's nails, that turned my stomach. I thought it was so gross. It was so weird. So I never bit off his nails. But you have to do something, right? I found the solution. You wait until they fall asleep. It worked so well. Well, it was to the point where, no baby's gonna let you clip their nails, but it was so hard for me, especially as a single parent. It was so hard. It was at the point, especially his toenails, because he thinks it's tickly too, and those are still a problem. He really thinks his toenails are tickly, so it's really hard to do them. But and it was getting to the point where they were curling over, because you're in his shoes, especially when it's been cold. So it was you have to figure out a way. And early on, I figured out, once he falls asleep, and especially if you're holding, I contact napped for so long, and even recently he still falls asleep with me most of the time for nighttime. And then you clip their nails, and you can get them all really nice. You can take your time, make sure you really get in there. They start to stir, oh, you know what, if they don't like getting their boogers sucked out, that's the time to do that too. Actually, for me, he hates sleeping in his sleep sack. But the sleep sack, he definitely sleeps better. It's winter time right now. If you're watching this in the summer, right now it's winter here. Blankets are, even though he's old enough that he could have a little blanket, he can move it himself, it won't stay on him. He kicks it off. He doesn't like having anything on him, and blankets are the devil. And so he gets cold. He does not like wearing the sleep sack. Sleep sacks are also the devil, but it keeps him a lot warmer and then he sleeps better. So after he falls asleep, I've gotten really good at sliding him into his sleep sack. But I'm telling you, you wait till they fall asleep. If you're someone who's just struggling, it works. My next hack is, as soon as someone pointed out the difference in the zippers, especially for overnight, double zippers. Double zippers are the only thing you need. You don't need any other jammies. You need double zipper jammies. I'm talking about the ones that have the zipper at the top. Well, over here at the top, and then they also have a zipper at the foot, so that when you have to do their diaper change, especially when they're really little and they'll wriggle out of their clothing when you unzip, or if it's cold and that'll wake them up and you're trying to put them back to sleep, double zippers, and then you're only taking their legs out. It's so much better. The only time it's a bad thing is when they have a blowout and then you have to re-put them back in and then unzip the whole thing, is the only time that wasn't good. But I then learned later, I learned it too late, but you're learning it now, the ones that have the little scalloped sleeves where it's an overlap. I wish I had an example, but my child is now wearing 2T, so I don't have an example here in the room with me anymore. Those are all packed away. But the little scalloped shoulders, they're made so that you can unroll the whole thing down. You don't have to take it up over their head. And they make those with the scalloped sleeves for little infants, with the double zippers. I've seen them. So I'm telling you, that's what you need. Those are so much better. It's so much easier. Your night, so much better. So much better. Another hack I found, because I mentioned sucking the boogers out, kind of have to do that after he falls asleep most of the time. And when he's had a little cold, I've tried the saline drops. I really tried. And the little suction booger sucker things, I do it, but it's so hard. You have to almost hold him down, and then it's a whole thing, and he's already not feeling good. He's had a couple little colds here and there, and just one time it just awful runny nose. And so sucking the boogers at night, I have had to do that. But you know what they make? Oh, I'll just grab it. Those are in the room with me. If your baby would rather thrash and cry and kick and throw themselves off the couch or throw themselves into a table, which actually he did do one time, he was 2 feet from it and pushed away from me so hard, he whacked his little head on the table because he didn't like the saline drops. That was when I stopped using saline drops. I was that was traumatic for everyone. I can't do this. They make saline wipes, and I thought these were just a silly thing. I had them since my baby shower. Someone baby shower gave them to me. that person's a genius. And I didn't know. And I just, because I had them, I started using them because he was getting crust. I mean, he was at the point, and the little colds in babies are like the most heartbreaking thing, but he was at the point where like the tissue was hurting his nose and he didn't want me to wipe it. Those are way more gentle. They don't hurt as bad, so he was letting me wipe it. And also, the saline in it actually like clears his nose. Like it works like having the saline drops. So you just have the little wipes, you get it all off the front, give it a little extra wipe, and it clears it out the same way. I mean, best, seriously. My next hack for you that's worked really, really well for me is what we call OSHA inspector. Very early on, this is like a safety thing. This has worked really well. This has been more of like a year old and up. But safety wise, because you know you're baby proofing everything, right from the start, I always emphasize like, oh no, this is not safe. And so now we've created a little OSHA inspector. That's what we call him. Instead of like going, especially like cabinets, like this doesn't work on every cabinet because there are cabinets that he knows like there's just books behind that he's not supposed to have. That's different. He knows if it's a safety thing and I've said this is not safe. He goes around and the cabinets that are supposed to have, because we have the outside locks, those cabinets are supposed to have the outside locks, he goes and makes sure, like if he goes over to Grandma and Grandpa's house, he goes and checks all of the cabinets that are supposed to be locked, and if they're not locked, get, and we have to go and lock it for him. So he makes sure, rather than opening it and like exploring like under the kitchen sink or under the bathroom sink, like where the medicine is or anything like that, no, get, and he tells us and we need to go and lock it. He does the same. Unfortunately, the covers over the outlets, not as effective because if it's undone, he also get, like he wants it covered, but he goes and sticks his finger, and so that's not awesome. But at least he points it out to you, so you know that those things are a problem and need to get fixed. Like that has been such a good thing for us. But it was from the beginning, this is not safe. Oh no, as soon as he's walking, oh no, we need to close that. Oh no, it's not safe, we need to close it. And now he does it himself. So I know that if for some reason I left the lock off of the under the kitchen sink where all of the chemicals and things are, the scary things, if for some reason I left that off, I know that he would want to put the lock back on first. That's his first instinct rather than, oh, here's all the chemicals. So that it makes me feel more confident, especially like sending him to Grandma and Grandpa's house. Like I know that the things that need to be locked away, he also wants them locked away. We call him the OSHA inspector, because there'll be things like if we're baking in the kitchen, you know, like the box grater is one of the things that's not safe, but it's in the same cabinet as the pans. So if we're getting out the pans, he'll come over and get. And we've got to put the lock back on right away, even though we're still using that cabinet. It's pretty cute, but it's also like, it's such a relief to have our OSHA inspector making sure that everything is safe for us, rather than me being like, oh my God, you know, he's gone around the corner, the cabinet might be open. Like, no, he's gonna make sure that cabinet is closed. It's been fantastic. I don't know how you like, if that would work for every child, if that's just his personality, but it has been so great for us. It's just like that extra peace of mind to know that he wants to keep things safe. He wants the extra, if I've emphasized it's a safety thing, he wants things to be safe. So that is so nice. And then my last hack, and this has been really, really good. When I went to the dentist the first time with him for his 1 year, and we were just getting into the toothbrush, and he hated it. He hated brushing. He'd kind of gone from the, oh, toothbrush is kind of fun to chew on, to like hating brushing teeth, especially as teeth were coming in and it hurt. And even the dentist was like, you might have to just hold him down and brush his teeth. When he's crying, it's the easiest because it's open. And, oh man, it was kind of very stressful. I didn't like brushing his teeth. It was sort of like, oh, I'll do it once a day. The hack I found changed everything. Got him up at my parents' house. He could stand on the toilet and see into the mirror. Looking in the mirror. Then he was happy to brush his teeth. Happy to brush his teeth if he's looking in the mirror. Actually putting on like sunscreen, brushing his hair. If he's watching himself in the mirror, super happy about it. He will, we stand, I have a little stool, I stand him up at the mirror and I get both of our toothbrushes ready, and we actually, the Wiggles have a little toothbrushing song, so sometimes I use kind of their jingles and things, or Rafi has a toothbrushing song, and we're getting all ready and we brush our teeth, and he knows how to turn on the faucet and rinse his toothbrush himself, and if he doesn't get all his teeth, did you get them all? No. And then mommy goes in and I can brush his teeth. I can get all of them. Sometimes he's a little silly about it, but I can get all of his teeth as long as we're looking in the mirror. The mirror solved the whole problem. Now it's a lot of fun. Now it's something that we both look forward to. So like a morning and evening, we get together and we brush our teeth together, and it's a super, super fun activity. I've even now been able to, because we've gotten used to that, I've been able to do, when he like really wasn't feeling good and it was like he's fallen asleep, like he's gonna fall asleep, he's just kind of cuddled up in my bed and we're kind of just winding down for the evening, I've been able to have him like let me brush his teeth there because it calms down about it, and brushing teeth is fun now. But looking in the mirror, I'm telling you, it changed everything for me. So those are 5 baby hacks that worked for me really, really well. No guarantee they'll work for you, except for like, I'm telling you, that clip their nails when they're asleep, I'm telling you. And the mirror one, I swear that probably will work for any little baby. But yeah, it just makes life so much less stressful. Like just little things like that. My secret last hack for you is gonna be, if they're having constant blowouts, try a size up diaper. A lot of times, even if the weight says something different, if you try a size up diaper, sometimes it solves all the blowouts. Worked for me twice. So sometimes that's your cue. If you're having a lot of blowouts, like pee blowouts, well, I guess they're not blowouts for their pee, it's just a leak, but especially pee blowouts, but a lot of blowouts, try a size up diaper. That's the way to go. And then my last thing that I really want to talk about, in case there are parents here watching with me, I want to talk about the real last hack, and that is you need to go to therapy. I feel like it should be mandatory for postpartum parents because your brain is crazy. Like if you're expecting a child, I think you should be setting up therapy. You might not need it for very long. You might only need like a week or two or a couple of weeks, maybe a month. You might need it for long term, but like I think therapy is more valuable than we talk about in terms of postpartum. And I'm gonna get a little bit graphic here, talking about postpartum depression, because you become a crazy person. If you're a birthing parent, you become a crazy person. And I think we need to talk more about that. We need to talk about the fact that, and I am going to get graphic, so if this is something you can't listen to, just you can end the video here. And when you're in the postpartum mindset, like I did have postpartum depression, your brain is trying to protect your baby, and I know that that's a fact. But it'll do things all the time, like, you pick up, because you're always thirsty, especially if you're breastfeeding, you're always thirsty. So you'll pick up your water bottle while you're holding the baby. And rather than your brain being like, oh, the baby could get hurt should you drop the water bottle, no, it will instead offer up an image of you dropping the water bottle, bashing your baby's brain open and killing them. Like that'll just pop into your mind. And it's all the time. It's everything. Like you set the baby down in a safe area in their bassinet or something and turn your back, and your brain will say, the baby is dead now. Like it's not like something could happen. Your brain will just go, oh, the worst thing has happened. Like here's the worst image you can have. And it's all the time. It makes you feel crazy. You are a little crazy. Your brain is trying to protect the baby and it's going overboard. But like those are real thoughts I had. And unfortunately for me, and I think other parents probably have this too, when my brain would give me those images like that, like, oh, if this happened, it'd say, oh, the baby could die if you do this. And then it would immediately follow up with, and if something happened to this baby, I'd kill myself. And it wasn't just I'd kill myself, it was, here's how you do it. Like there'd be detailed image of what I would do to kill myself if my baby died. And that was really hard. And it is normal, and it's not your fault. You're being a crazy person for a little bit, and it's not your fault. And I think therapy is necessary to work through those things. Sometimes just to hear that you're not crazy, like you're not going to kill your baby. you're just, you're just postpartum. And one of the things that I really needed, for me a turning point, I started doing therapy because of the divorce happening, and I needed that for that reason, and it turned out I really needed it for the postpartum depression as well. But one of the things that turned everything around for me was just having an outside source. I had like a panic, like it was one of those where I'd like not slept all night because baby was just constantly up, and in the morning my mom physically took baby away from me and was like, you need to lie down and get some sleep. And I was like, I lost it. I was screaming, crying, total like a panic attack. And that's how I described it to her, to my therapist. And I told her, like, the feeling I was having was, if someone else is able to comfort and calm my baby, then he doesn't need me anymore. And when the therapist told me, you're his mama and he's always going to need you, somehow that was like, and the way she phrased it to me, like that was the turning point for me in healing and like beginning to heal from the postpartum depression. Like I needed the outside source to say that. And so without therapy, I could still be in kind of a crazy place. But it was things like that, or like you start to heal when someone can tell you this is okay and this is all right. And you can see that, oh, if I put the baby down in a safe place, they are still alive. Like my brain was wrong. They're still okay. Someone else can hold the baby and the baby will be okay. Someone else could even put the baby down and the baby will be okay. And the more times you see that, the better you become. But sometimes you just need someone to help you through that. And I think it's probably, maybe not equally, but probably just as stressful and hurtful. I mean, postpartum depression for the non-birthing parent is a real thing too. And for a non-birthing parent, it probably, I mean, you're suffering some of the same things. You're suffering a lack of sleep, which makes everybody crazy, okay? Everyone feels crazy when they're just really, really tired. And you're also have a total lifestyle change. Like everything in your life is upended and different. And you're also watching someone who you presumably love and have known presumably for a while be a crazy person. If you're the non-birthing parent and you're watching your partner be a crazy person, it can't be easy. And so I feel like both parents need someone to tell them they're not crazy, and they need someone to work through what they're feeling, because you might have something really unique. You might be in a different situation from what I was in. I described kind of my postpartum depression a little bit here, but there's also the scenario that happens where you feel no connection to your baby. Where you don't get those rush of chemicals right after birth, where you don't get that like really closeness, and you're like, I always describe like the baby, when he was a baby, he was mine. Like we're the same entity to him, but he was mine. He was, my person still. And as he's grown up, he's become his own person. I knew that would happen. But that feeling, if you've had a baby, you probably understand that feeling of them being mine. And you have to let go of that. That's part of, also being a parent. But some people don't have that feeling. It almost feels like, who is this alien creature? And that's something you need a therapist to help you with too. Like you need to work through what's going on with that. And that it's not that you're a monster. It's not that you're crazy. It's just something else that's happening in your brain. That's the chemical reaction you got, and you need someone to help you with that. And that can happen for the non-birthing parent or the birthing parent, where it's just, you're not feeling that connection with the baby. Therapy, I think, is just something that you need as part of your village in moving forward with being a parent, because it's hard. And it's not hard just because of the things you need to do. It's hard because your brain is making you crazy. And so I deeply recommend, if you haven't gone to therapy, if you are about to have a child or about to bring a child into your life in some way, you should make sure you sit down with a therapist. And you might not need it. You might be totally fine. It might be, you go a couple of weeks and you're just like, actually, I'm good. Or it might be that this needs to be a long-term thing for you as you work through some things. But I think you should. And I think it will help you. Overall, you're just going to be way, way better off. The sooner you're able to heal, the better. So deeply recommend, like, set up some therapy for yourself if you are anyone in any kind of situation like that. Even if you're a mother and you've been a mother for a while now, if you feel like you've not quite gotten back to yourself in some way, I recommend therapy. So that's my little soapbox at the end here, just because I really, really feel like that's important to talk about. We need to talk about it some more. I would love to know if you have any baby hacks that like super duper worked for you, where you were like, even if you were a little bit skeptical, like I was skeptical about the saline wipes. And I'm a believer now. I bought some for my parents to have too. Just because, oh man, like the difference some of these things make. Yeah, I'd love to know your hack. Even things that didn't work for you. I need to think of like things that didn't work and make like the opposite video. See, let me know in the comments below if you'd like to see that. Try these ones out if you haven't. If you have a baby. My baby's 18 months old. My little OSHA inspector is 18 months old. And these things have worked really well for me. Most of the hacks were things that I didn't try before 6 months old, except for the double zipper. Double zipper. As soon as I discovered the double zipper, I've been a believer, because that is so many. We still double zipper if I can find them. Once you get into the 2T, my child is so tall. Once you're in the 2T sizes for your, 12-month-old, 18-month-old, they don't have the double zippers as much. The sleep sack he has does have a double zipper, so he can still be kind of covered up, even if I have to change him in the middle of the night. Leave me a comment down below about the baby hacks that you have used and loved, and if you've got any toddler hacks for me, I might need some more toddler hacks, so thank you. Okay, thank you so much for watching. Bye.